Now we move into what we call rule number 2 for operations on monomials. This is a power to a power idea. Power to a power. Example 1, if I say that I have x cubed squared. Hopefully you remember from your previous levels of math that when you square a term, it really means that you need to write it twice. So this is equivalent to me going x cubed times x cubed. Now that looks very much like rule 1. Common bases, you add the exponent. So I could call this x to the 6th. What I propose is that we're able to squeeze out the middleman. We don't need this middle step. We can look at power to a power. When you have exponents listed as such, when they're side by side like that, you can simply multiply them. 2 times 3 is 6. So I can go directly to my answers, x to the 6th. What becomes tricky with this type of problem would be example 2, when you might have a more complex value inside your parenthesis. You might say something like this: 2x cubed y squared raised to the, let's say, 5th. When you have something like that, it's still going to be power to a power, but what you're going to really do is distribute that outside exponent to all the powers on the inside. In other words, I'll go 5 times 1, 5 times 3, 5 times 2. And so I could list this as 2 to the 5th, x to the 15th, because 5 times 3 would be 15, and then y to the 10th, because 5 times 2 is 10. In terms of how you should write your coefficient, a general rule that I like to use is if your number is under 1,000, I expect you to be able to expand it, particularly since you're using a calculator. Now, a common mistake that kids will make, they will simply go 2 times 5. It is true when you do power to a power that you multiply exponents, but this is a base. A base raised to a power is saying that you have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. There's 5 2's being multiplied. And of course, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32. X to the 15th, y to the 10th. Don't ever multiply a base times a power. That's a very common mistake, and it always gives you the wrong answer. It's base multiplied that many times. We'll look at several more examples here of the rule number 2, which is power to a power.